Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, we have a quorum and it's a little after 7, so why don't we get started? There's no, I don't really have any remarks. It seems to me that the only real business is gonna be talking about the breakwater. Public comment, there's no public. Approval of the September minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. God, there's somebody here, somebody sneaks in every day, right?
Oh, it's on duty.
I didn't have anything to say.
Yeah, you wanna comment now or later?
I want to comment now,
Okay, go ahead.
and I'll comment later.
No, you get one shot at this.
I just want to say it's great to live here and not up in Northern Virginia. I spent the weekend up in Northern Virginia, so everybody be happy that we're down here.
Oh, you know what?
End of comment.
Okay, good, okay, that's the end of the, then moving right along, the approval of minutes.
So,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Good, done. Office update.
All right. So, I'll be filing claims again soon. I kind of do that this time of year, once I send statements out in January, February, give everybody enough time to try to pay. And then I'm here again, and I'll be filing claims, which is not my favorite thing to do. Anyway, also, when I was going through, I was looking for a document the other day, and I actually pulled up the wrong one. I pulled up the Policies and Procedures Manual, and I was looking for something in it. I had the wrong document. But that being said, maybe something for the back burner. It needs updating rather badly. I don't know if anybody wants to spearhead that. Take a look at it, I'll
I
send it
did
to
that
you.
once, it only took 6 months.
Well, you know, but as you had it out, did you sort of paperclip or mark?
I did not, because I was getting, I certainly will, but I was getting ready for the membership meeting, and the document I was looking for was in a different file. So I got busy with that, but I'll mark that up.
Yeah, you know, just, whatever you
Okay.
think has to be changed, and that'll be a head start.
Okay.
Then we can move on from there.
All right, cleanup went well, and as Bonnie said before the meeting, we actually filled one dumpster by 11:30. It was
And it was chock full.
There was, yeah, there was no, gee, do we need another dumpster, it's getting close, no, it was full. So I called and they replaced it, and then the next one we filled, I don't know, half to 3/4, quite good.
Almost complete.
Yeah, and then the metal recycling was maybe half full,
Mhm.
something like that, or more, half to
More,
3/4.
I think, like
Yeah.
3/4, I'd say. I mean, we weren't stuffing stuff in like that.
No, it wasn't like some years past, but we got a lot of stuff. Oktoberfest is this Saturday, we all know that. And we have just today from Tom Shield, so this probably should have been on the agenda, but since this just came in, this year's retainer for services, if we're going to do that again, because what we have now expires at the end of this month, I think. So it's $2,700 a year. And if we have to have him over and above the services that are covered with the retainer, the prices are not increasing. It's $350 an hour for an attorney, $150 for, their assistance if we need something over and above what's covered by the retainer. So,
We probably need it, don't we?
Yeah, I think so.
No, wait, I don't know why.
Yes, we do, and here's why. We have yet to be tested in court.
despite the Cole Point decision, which
Yeah.
was absolutely beneficial for us,
Which he handled.
which he handled, yeah, it was really fun to watch him. Yeah, it seems to me we should,
Yeah.
especially,
So,
Yeah.
yeah, as
As
it's an expenditure of money, do we have to vote on that?
it's in the budget.
It's
Oh,
budget.
okay.
We just never know what kind of services we need.
Well, I think until we get through,
But the way it works, in emails and as long as it's email and telephone, it's free.
or it's part of the
If he
retainer.
has to write an opinion,
Oh,
the clock runs.
okay. Yeah,
But
good.
if you just need advice,
At $350 an
So,
hour, you could easily use
this is-
that up.
and that runs for anybody on the board, if you feel like you need legal advice about drunk point, of course, you can give them a call.
And that's it for me.
All right, good. Well, why don't we go right around the table? Let's just start with Mike.
I don't have anything,
Very
except I noticed there's no planning committee in the procedures, so I guess we don't have a committee.
We never
Well,
had,
In the committee reports, I probably should have.
That's how long ago it was since we had.
Well, the planning committee.
Twenty 2014 is not all that old.
They don't report much, but,
Yeah,
Shall I add that to committee reports? I mean,
The
you guys
update
have
sheet
done-
in the back, you're looking at the update sheet in the back?
no, I haven't gotten that
I
far.
think it's newer than that.
Oh, I thought you meant on the agenda.
It should be an update sheet, you know, like any,
Moving right along.
I have nothing.
Well,
Chad.
it says updated.
Not much to add to finance after our meeting, just to make sure everything is on track, no surprises. So, it's all in your papers then.
Good. I don't have any, oh, you're welcome.
Asha and Jenny assembled 5 baskets, I guess last week or so, week and a half ago. I've distributed 3 already, so I have 2
Wow.
left. And I sent Cindy an email today to let her know we need more buckets and some other items, so. That's it.
Gary, how many hats are you gonna wear?
let's start with operations and roads. Well, that's all I went down for, isn't it?
Yeah, but then there's planning.
Yeah, but there's no report. We patched some, semi-patched some potholes, they're not finished yet. But we needed better instructions on how to do it. So the potholes are being patched, the ones, we found some other ones, and the ones you talked about as well. And I worked with Carl and his crew on the 3-year cutback quite a bit this week. We had some issues with some property owners, and Carl needed direction and an interface to the property owner in one case. And we were able to work it all out. Nobody shot anybody, it was okay. So, really the bottom line is, where's your property line? You know, people come out,
Oh, yeah.
why are you butchering this tree? Well, first of all, we're not butchering it. Second of all, it's our tree. So, many times that's the way it shakes out. We do try to, just to expand a little bit on that, we do try to let, you know, oh, you don't want us to cut this? Well, it needs to be cut back, and here's the parameters we need to do. If you want to cut it back, that's fine, but if you're not gonna do it, we're gonna have to do it because we have to maintain the right-of-way. It's a private road for public use. And we'll generally let that ride for a while, and if they don't do it, then we just do it for them. We did have a very unique situation, I'll go about it a little bit because of words of time. There was a joke in there somewhere. And anyway, we had a property owner that owns over an acre of land here in Drum Point. There's not very many lots that big here. And the property owner was pretty much irate that we were in there doing anything. And this person happens to be a volunteer fireman and a professional fireman. And it was downhill until I pulled the card. We have to, you know, large vehicles like UPS trucks, buses, fire trucks, and you could see it in her eyes. Oh, yeah. Huh. Okay, but isn't there some way that we, anyway, and then Carl came up with the idea that once we cut out, she was concerned about privacy on her property. She didn't want anybody to be able to see the house from the road. And Carl had the idea as well, you know, why don't we get you on the county's tree planting program? And, you know, we'll work it out. So this Friday, I won't be able to be here, but Carl's gonna meet with the property owner and Robin Munkhausen and come up with a plan, and she's happy, so. Anyway, I spent a lot of time this week on this. I think I got everything. Oh, we had, something unusual, most times when people put in for a permit to build onto their house, if they're building a new house, the county has been very good at letting us know so that we can get road bonds money. But this, it's supposed to, is that me? It does the same thing. They've been remiss in letting us know if there's an addition to a house. Well, in this case, they actually caught it and sent it in here, and I went out and looked at that, and there wasn't anything to it for us.
Other than that, we'll collect the bond.
Yeah, we'll collect, but there wasn't anything to worry about. Pretty straightforward.
Who did you say got it?
The county, somebody at the county, one of the clerks. Usually, I mean, they're so used to just.
It isn't part of our
I didn't
road
mean it
agreement.
that way.
The road agreement says that if there's a new bill, they're to be sent here to get, so we need a road bond. But the road agreement never included additions, and we used to try to get them to change that. They never would, so it's kind of hit or miss, sometimes they do, and sometimes
Well, but
they
we've
don't.
had plenty of conversations with them, and the conversations are, oh yeah, we can do that.
Sure, we could, we can.
But we won't. I guess that's all I've got.
Bonnie, the environment.
Gary, what's happening with paving? Is it?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, of course, maybe. Where is Jeff so he can take the heat for this? They missed the September. The contract was for paving in September. They missed it. Unfortunately, there's no penalty. Jeff seems to think they're gonna get into it this week, but I gotta tell you, if we haven't heard from them by close of business today, which is come and gone, it's probably gonna be next week. They wanna get it done too, because the longer they wait, the harder it is for them to do, so. I think next time we'll put a penalty clause.
Yeah, you know, there should be something.
Yeah. Can you get it done by the date? They had plenty of opportunity to work it in their schedule, and they didn't, so, my opinion.
Okay, two brief things. Jenny and I have been talking about the stink bug, not the stink bug, the lantern fly, which is worse than the stink bug thing. And it's in southern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and it's been spotted in Virginia, and Jenny just tells me it's been spotted in Garrett County. They don't tell you what you're supposed to do with them, but it's worse than stink bugs.
Can you eat them?
No.
Well, that would take care of it.
Anyhow, just as the Department of Agriculture has declared war, it says
Just like
that,
they did on Frank Mine.
yeah, well, we'll get to that next. Southeastern Pennsylvania, it seems like, I mean, it's all over southeastern Pennsylvania, and New Jersey and Pennsylvania, truckers are under quarantine that they have to follow special shipping rules, so, I mean, but it's already in Maryland, so. Anyhow, this doesn't give you any solution what to do, because nobody knows what to do about these things, but they're coming. And second, Phragmites, we had,
What do they do?
they destroy agricultural crops.
They're especially bad on soybean.
And, yeah, it said, Pennsylvania's agricultural department said the bugs threaten to destroy $18 billion in plant-based commodities in the state.
Oh.
So that's a lot.
Where did they come from? I mean, were they?
Asia, it's out of India, China, and Vietnam, it says. And they did been in downtown Philadelphia,
Just in New Jersey? Is it that much farmland in New Jersey?
No, it's Pennsylvania.
18 billion?
No, this is
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, in
But
Pennsylvania.
Jersey's all farm.
Yeah, it's a lot of farms.
There's a lot of farms, but 18
It's either
billion
farms
is
or
a lot.
chemical plants.
It's also in Delaware, Virginia, Pennsylvania,
all together.
so it's a bunch.
18 billion
And there-
dollars worth, or
18
acres worth, or what?
$18 billion worth,
Yeah.
yeah, of crops, of plant-based commodities, whatever that means, I don't know if that means a crop or.
How many?
Train them to eat kudzu.
Yeah. Hundreds of dead bugs lay on the ground next to shimmering new buildings, evidence of direct extermination efforts. This is in Allentown, so anyhow, not to belabor this, but the last thing I'll say about this, the government has sent out a message, kill them all, flamethrowers, chemicals, heavy boots are some of the weapons of choice. Stop, scrape, squish. So,
Squishing. Okay.
Flamethrower?
yeah.
Is that what it said?
I don't know.
That's
There's a whole.
They did that in West Philly once, and burned down a whole block.
See, that doesn't work.
Okay, now on
Cherry
to Phragmites. Today, Mark Smith did the spraying mostly in our area. However, Lake Terrace is, again, our bane of our existence. Because a woman Mark went, and he said, and that's the huge stand of it. Mark went, he said he had his hose, he was getting ready, and the woman came out and said, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm gonna be spraying for Phragmites, and she said, no, you're not. So, Rhea, you talk to the lady.
I did, and he actually, Bonnie called me this morning, which was fine, because I don't come in until 11 or 12, depending on Tuesdays.
I apologize.
That was fine, that was fine. So, but when I got here, and you said that Mark had stopped by the office,
He had,
but of course
yeah,
I
it was
wasn't
close.
here, the timing was just kind of unfortunate. So I got here, and the woman had, of course, called and left a message, and she was quite upset. She said that Mark Smith had been rude to her, and
He's a kind of abrupt, he's kind of a
Yeah.
business, he's not rude, he's never been rude to me.
I don't know, she was quite upset, and it kind of bothered her, and she, as it turns out, really didn't understand, surprise, surprise, where the property lines are through there. And that particular property, Gary and I had a little issue a few years ago with the owner,
Went to court.
who, well, we didn't go to court, we went to land records that approved.
Yeah,
He
it
was
was settled out of
claiming-
court.
Right, right.
He was
He was
saying-
claiming that the commissioners had given him our property. Now, if you go down Lake Terrace, the pavement ends at a
Sure
certain
they have.
point,
Sure they did.
and sometimes it's an issue with snow plowing and so
Sure
on.
they did.
But on beyond that pavement still belongs to us. It's our easement, it's our right of way, whatever. So I explained that to her, and once she kind of calmed down and realized he really did have a right to be there, I apologized for what she perceived to be rudeness and so on. And I said, it looks as though we won't be able then to get it done. And she just thought, well, these are pretty grasses, who sees them but me, what,
Hello?
who cares? And I explained it was invasive vegetation and so on. And I also explained DNR, that it's really Maryland state property along the waterfront, that we have a strip and so on. I couldn't give her the exact footage and so on, but so that was
She's
basically,
not even a
she
property owner,
understood.
she's a renter.
She's a renter, and I said to her, I really didn't realize that the house wasn't vacant.
No
I
dog
thought
in
it
the
was
hunt at
vacant.
all,
Well, except she-
Well, except,
except she lives there.
right, and really, the owner could have perhaps said to her, by the way, this is my property, and here is Drum Point's property, so you might see somebody down in here.
My suggestion for the future, I sent Mark an email to find out if he is by any chance coming back down this area. I doubt he makes the circuit, goes to the eastern shore. Anyhow, so, the first year we started doing this was 2017, and I asked him whether it was overlooked that day. I seem to recall he said he was chased away once, which is maybe why he was. So then last year, he assumed it was private property, so we didn't do it. But we didn't know that, so we discovered that last year. So this is the third year this thing is being skipped. And it's a huge,
One year it was overlooked, because Jack and I went over there with him, and we said, yeah, and he said, oh, yeah, and he remembered having done it before.
10 years before.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
then
realize
it was overlooked,
And
and
this is-
then maybe it was
yeah.
chased away, but in any case, it's all, who cares?
But, yeah,
But-
but I'm saying this is the third year we're not getting this humongous patch. And we'll just try for next year unless
That's it.
if Mark can come back down here. I don't think he'll especially come down here, but if he's doing something down here, maybe he can do it. But my suggestion to Rhea, since we're updating some signs to say, beach access at your own risk, we can have like a DPPOA sign and that woman can look at the sign too bad.
Oh,
I mean.
as
Mark
much
had-
as
Mark
as
had
much as
no-
I like the idea, no.
Mark had no recourse, Mark had no
I know,
recourse,
but-
we're paying this man to come down.
But,
Unfortunately, couldn't get hold of anybody to show up right
That's
on the
right.
spot.
Well, I didn't even know it until he called me.
Oh, he didn't hang around?
Oh, he
just went
called
on.
me from St. Mary's, so he's got a schedule, so and she chased him off, I mean, she was the big one in my opinion, but, and I guess he didn't try to, well, he came to the office and we weren't here
Right.
because the office is closed that time, Tuesday morning, so if he can come back, or in the future, next year, we need to have somebody go with
Yeah,
him.
we're gonna make sure that the
And
road is
that, and that,
paved.
Did we know he was coming at all?
yeah, we do,
Oh.
this is,
Right.
but
But like I said, I didn't realize.
we didn't think there'd be a problem, because you thought you
house.
sorted that out already, because you talked to the owner.
Well, I didn't talk to him today about this.
No,
But I did think
You
I,
had sorted it out with him, you thought.
well, with regard to where our property line
Yeah.
is, yeah. But my thought is that I could send him, I probably have his email address, an email explaining what happened, There was misunderstanding, and so on and so forth, but then we will be back either this year or next. I'll give him notification, because I won't have any contact information for his renter, but that, could you please explain to your renters that that is association property, and that he or she or whoever may see people down there on occasion maintaining it. I did explain to her
Or
that.
even using it.
Or even, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that they could actually be
People
using
can walk
it.
down there and take their
They
kayak and
could.
go in.
I kind of wanted to put an access sign there, but Gary, you said no,
No,
not to
and
do
why
that. It's
didn't-
not wonderful
because-
access, I guess.
What happened, yes, terrible access, what happened was,
Well, we-
that
we
guy,
always terrible
that
access.
property owner who thought it was his land,
Yeah.
put a big stone riprap all the way down,
Mhm.
and you can't walk on it,
Right, right.
and that's the
I
only.
guess that was our problem.
Well, my suggestion this year or next year is that a day or two before, that somebody, if I'm down here, I'll go walk it and put the note in her
Flyer
door.
on it.
I don't need, because somehow this thing is falling through the cracks.
Right.
This is the third year.
I know. So, I did explain to her that, because we kind of ended on a, funny note, misunderstanding. But I said one thing she might see is in the winter time, the snow plows either plow that in, at the end of the pavement, or if they plow in her driveway, said they just don't know, where to put it, sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a new driver, whatever. I said, call me, and I'll call them, they'll come right back. And we kind of were laughing at, the conversations. We're fine, she's I know,
Really
I
annoyed,
know.
annoyed, we
fine.
did a lot of work with them to make sure we
Yeah.
right this.
Fred, Marlies, did you get a chance to drive by Raspberry Hall and?
No, I didn't go down there, because I thought, Rita said that was state, that was state.
Oh, it's state, so no matter what.
It's
Yeah,
state,
it's
but Raspberry Hall is
absolute
state.
state. Yeah.
And Jenny
And it
found
was
another huge
At
tract
the bitter end,
at the
right?
bitter end.
And
which
that's
is-
our
Between
side.
Bitter End and Johnson, all the way up to Johnson.
Yeah.
And
But it
none of
hasn't
that's
jumped the
ours.
road
But
on-
none of it is ours.
Yeah.
The bitter end is not ours, and Rouseman Hall is.
I don't know where it's coming from though. I drove all through.
Well, maybe
All
in
around, I
Harbor
see.
Lights, maybe it's in
I
there
don't see any.
creeping out, oh,
Yeah.
maybe some of the seeds just flew in there, I mean?
Yeah,
fell
oh, yeah.
through, Like it is, I don't know, what is that? Anyhow, that's it, yeah, okay.
Peter,
Yeah, just a quick note. We have permission now to maintain the emergency backup net to be on top of the hospital with a new antenna. And so tomorrow morning we'll be running radio connectivity tests from here and from Lowell. And so we hope that that'll work out better for us. The Southern County, this part of the county is difficult. Our county is just a straight peninsula. So to maintain continuity, either you have 2 or 3 antennas, or you find one in the middle that can do it. And we hope this one in Prince Frederick at the hospital on top of the building will give us what we're finally looking for. But we'll be in here if anybody wants to come in and listen in. There'll be a couple of us in here doing some connectivity tests.
Elisa? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Anything?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay. All right, so I guess it's old business. Beach erosion control. I asked, because I somehow feel that we haven't really gotten a good grip on exactly what we have to do as a game plan. What do we have to do first, what do we have to do next? And I asked Rhea to sort of, I guess, contact the county as a first stop and figure out what do we have to do first. And then I guess at some point, we should get a couple or 3 contractors and tell them sort of basically what we're thinking of doing and asking them how much they think it'll cost. Just to get a rough idea and see what they think about what we're saying. They may contribute something. But I think we have to start sort of taking steps to do something in 3 years alternative to 5 years.
So I contacted John Swartz with the county. He said our first step is to get permits through MDE tidal wetlands. Once we have that license, then we come to the county for grading and building permits. I ran into Michelle Hipple the other day. She works for, that's the young woman that was here with Jamie Ward that night. And she said that, they can certainly apply for permits. And she understood that we would be putting out a request for bids, we wouldn't just give it to him outright. But of course, it's gonna cost money for them to apply. One thing that John Swartz said in his email back to me was, it's best to check with the contractor about the permits. If they won't do it, then there are permitting services. He seemed to stress that this is something that's a little more than just, a quick application to fill out. It's rather involved. So, I would think it might be worth the
Yeah,
extra
and
money
then
to
you
do
want a site
it
plan
right.
and all sorts of things, we don't
Right.
even know what we're doing.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
we're not,
So how do we,
Permits are usually part of the bidding document
I would think,
anyway. That's a,
yeah,
Built,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what-
okay.
but don't we have to come up with a scope of work to
Well,
put
that-
out for bid?
So what we need to do is call these folks at, where was it, Maryland, what?
Maryland Department of the Environment, MDE.
And see if they have any consulting services to give us some idea of what they think we should do. So, I mean, we've come up with what we think is the best way to go about it, but, and even if that is the best way to go about it, which we think it is, there are a lot of nuances to it, how far away from shore,
That's right,
how
yeah,
wide,
how wide, how deep,
how high,
how
how
tall,
deep,
yeah.
all these things, and those are the kind of things that we like some professional help.
I still, I'd like to try to go back to what Bonnie said in this information quite a while back about what Charles County did on that Swan Point area, where they have all those breakwaters. So I think it might be useful, maybe Schwartz could, if he has any contacts in Charles, and if he has any counterparts, could tell us who to contact, or we can, just
Good idea.
It's Swan Point.
start banging the phones, but the project was in Swan Point. It was the whole long,
Yeah, it's interesting.
long area of breakwaters.
Oh, that's the one you guys,
And you get a present a really good picture of it, Mike had a really good picture of it.
But Charles County had to have been involved in that.
so Swan Point is in Charles County.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It's gotta be.
Mike, is it this one?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Do you want this?
well, I thought,
Oh, okay.
that's,
That's quite expensive too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one after another.
Yeah, we only need
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So if I find out John Swartz's counterpart in Charles County, I'm asking him what?
But I think,
no, if you could find out for us, if he has anybody, if he knows anybody
Uh-huh.
that we could contact.
Okay,
And then we could contact him
Okay.
as part of the planning committee. and,
okay,
um,
okay, yeah, I can do that.
yeah, I can see this coming out. You need to hire a marine engineer to figure out what's required. Feel it coming.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
But that's why I say, if there's precedent
Yeah.
with the state, MDE and all that, based on what Charles County did, or any others, then maybe we, maybe we don't have
And
to
it
do all
could be in the
that.
permit, in the application, there's a place to put in notes as done on such and such a date and permit number, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
What was the date that project was done? Do you
It's been a long
remember?
time.
So it's been around a while, and it's not that it was just.
yeah, I'll have to go back and dig out
Well, it's not important.
the information you sent, it was very good.
So it's.
All right, so at least we have some steps that we wanna take, I
Well,
guess.
and do we have agreement from the club? I don't say permission, but agreement with the club?
Well, yeah, that's the first thing.
Well, we're told we do.
Who said?
Yeah.
With Jack?
I think we ought to get a letter.
Then we need to send them a letter.
All right.
A letter, kind of an email?
Yeah, to what our intent is, and let us know if you have and remind them that, you know, we had a joint committee
Yeah.
to study this, and this is what we had, the result of the committee is this, and that kind of thing.
You say we already did send the letter?
No,
No.
No.
And you think an email would, you want a formal letter?
Yeah, I think we need, yeah, I think you need a letter.
Okay.
Because inevitably, after the fact, we, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still gonna have to, whenever you finally come up with concept and drawings
yeah,
and all that, then you're gonna have to get formal.
yeah, that will have to go
Probably.
back.
Mhm.
Property on the other
So I
side.
probably require that for adjacent property owners.
I'm trying to remember, Michelle said something about depending on the, there'll be a variance, or, you know, there'll be a public hearing likely anyway, possibly, depending on what we do. There may be a public hearing, and now I can't recall what would make that happen, I didn't note that. So if there's a public hearing, then you've got adjacent property owners.
Public hearing,
I think she said a public hearing.
that would be a big deal. I can't imagine a public hearing, a variance hearing perhaps.
Maybe that's what she. Maybe that's what she.
Yeah, and a variance, of course, that's open to the public, but it's not a public hearing.
Okay, right. And then it's just the adjacent owners that are involved, right?
They would be notified of the hearing.
How many adjacent owners, there's a club on one side, you have that
Just two.
person on the other side? Okay, so just the immediate adjacent.
Well, maybe not. Huh? I'm not sure. I guess the county would decide,
Oh, what was it?
Yeah,
because,
Yeah, there's one,
I mean, could,
there might be one on
since
beach,
it's
right?
DPPOA property and we
Oh,
own
yeah,
property
so we-
all over the
so we
place,
agree.
wouldn't it be everybody in the community?
No,
Oh,
Let the county decide.
you're overthinking that.
I'm 2 houses away from this project, and I have a sign that I agreed to
Oh,
for
really?
quick sellers.
Oh, okay.
I think I was the last one, so I think it must have been only 2 on each side.
Oh, maybe so.
might be one.
So who's next to Edinger's? Can't think of the name, it's an older woman, Ben Pelt, I think.
I can't see that.
And then this is,
Yeah.
I can't see those folks objecting,
Okay.
because if I remember right, none of those houses have a beach in front, so if they use the beach, they use,
Right.
yeah, the
Okay.
clubs, the clubs, of course.
Yeah.
clubs.
Okay, so,
So I'll work a letter and I'm gonna send it to you to
well,
add to it.
send
Send
it,
this-
Mike,
well,
the
both
plan-
of you.
the planning committee, send it to
Oh, yeah.
Mike and
And then you can add
I. And
to
then
it. or
we'll have a
subtract
meeting,
from it.
discuss it, and come back with whatever we come back.
Yeah, we gotta start taking some baby steps.
Well, I'm not a uniform tonight, so I thought you would fire me anyway.
You have a uniform? Oh.
Board meetings, men will dress casually with long pants and shirts.
Did I not tell you it needs to be updated?
Women will wear a casual shirt, slacks, or dress.
I
So you
had
can wear a
jeans on.
shirt or a slacks,
Sure,
That was-
but not both.
but not both.
We had a president for a while who was sort of into that formality.
And that's how they
He
get
wasn't on for very long. I think that's where that came from.
it is
I mean,
exactly where
that
it
could
came
end, should dress casual, period, that's it, end
Yeah,
of
yeah, that
sentence.
comes
Should
again.
be dressed.
from. Dress,
There you go.
Right.
That's
No
what
bare
we're getting
feet,
people to
yeah,
come
no
on the
bare
board
chest.
anyhow.
That's it, yeah. No
Right.
shoes,
Right.
no service.
Well, I think it stemmed from, at the time,
It's a
we were
long
like
time
going
ago.
up against the commissioners for an STD or something, and a particular person on the board was a little slovenly sometimes, and he would go up to the commissioners' meetings and just, you know,
That's what you're
whatever.
going to.
So that's sort of where it,
Oh,
I think, started.
Well, for government or outside agencies, men will dress with coat, tie, and slacks.
Oh, well.
what decade was this?
This is '09. Well, actually, it says updated, no, the dress code was '09.
Wow, that's even amusing for that, yes.
that was before.
10 years ago.
I'm just doing what I'm told.
It also says that a shirt that has the logo on it.
Well, you can do that, but in lieu of,
Yeah, at the
yes.
time, you used to get a shirt if you were on the board.
Oh, is that right?
So I guess you can wear the shirt and nothing else.
That's it, you're good to go, you got the shirt?
I don't think this community is
Ready for
ready
that?
for that.
Now all we have are hats, I guess that you just
That's it.
wear the hat, right?
Now you're wearing the hat. Oh, this conversation has gone on long enough. All right, anyway,
Oh, fine.
so we're okay. Anything else that we want to talk about beach, the beach now, or do we wait until we get more information?
I think we just have to start getting information.
Yep, that's it. All right, any new business? Good. Schedule the next meeting. I don't know if with a little luck and the grace of God, I might be able to make the November meeting. But I know I'm gonna be out of the country for the December meeting, and I don't know about November, so. So, the fifth?
Is that election day? Is there an election day? We didn't have an election day?
No, there's nothing
Down here. So fifth, November is the first Tuesday.
primaries are not till late. So the
First Tuesday's the
fifth would be the first Tuesday.
Guy Fawkes.
Huh?
Guy Fawkes Day.
Is that-
Please to remember that both in
Yeah.
November. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It was a nursery rhyme, my girl.
Okay, well, I've
Seriously?
done that in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll make it, but anyway, if I'm not here, that's just the way it is.
Right. So we good with the fifth?
Okay.
Or do you think you could come on the 12th or not? Or you really?
I don't know.
So just make it.
Schedule it at your convenience, and if I can make it, I make it, if I can't, I can't.
First Tuesday, so.
Okay, so
And
the next,
December would be the third.
well, I know I'm not gonna be in the country for
You know you're not here for that.
yeah.
Well, it should be.
All right, so it's gonna be on the 5th, right? Does that mean everybody's
We're all
approval?
gonna take the fifth.
All right, yeah. Or you're gonna try to finish the 5th. No. But as opposed to Beethoven's unfinished 5th. I helped him finish that actually.
What did she say?
It was what kind of.
I thought you
weather
said-
was it?
Like you said, I hope you finish
Yeah,
it.
Beethoven's unfinished 5th.
I did say that.
All right, I guess the meeting is degenerated, it's over.
Bye, Alyssa.
Thank you. Bye, Alyssa, yes.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.